Again, continuing with the theme of this week, we're looking at the legs, and again, we can't forget about the glutes and hips when we're talking about the legs. So when we think about our driving muscles, we're talking about this whole hip complex, kind of really the core as well. So in order to take the pressure off these leg muscles, we want to engage those kind of bigger, stronger muscles first. So then we can allow the leg muscles do what they're trained to do best. Okay, so our extension or flexion, things like that. So the focus this morning, we do a little bit into the upper body, just so that we're not forgetting that. We focus a little bit on creating space into the hips, and then we'll finish with a stronger flow practice into the legs. So we'll get right into it. If you want to come to a nice, comfortable, cross-legged seat, if it feels good. Otherwise, we can sit back up onto the heels, getting a little stretch into the quads. And we'll start with the palms open to the ceiling. Getting nice and long into the spine. So really pressing the sit bones into the ground. Imagining a string attached to the top of your head, and it's bringing your spine nice and long. And we're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up, interlocking fingers, exhale, pressing the palms forward and releasing those shoulder blades. So we do that twice more. Inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, pressing the palms forward and away. Last one. And exhale, release. We're going to inhale up. This time as we exhale, we're going to bring the left hand forward, right arm behind, and we're going to rest that left hand just above the right knee, bringing the heel of that right hand right up by the lower spine. So as we inhale, we're going to sit tall into the spine, and as we exhale, we're going to press that left hand into the leg, drawing the right shoulder back and seeing if we can take the gaze over that right shoulder. Only if this feels good in the neck. So we're almost trying to get our bodies parallel to the side of the room. So thinking about lengthening on the inhale, and then seeing if we can deepen a little bit more into that twist on the exhale. We can work that left shoulder away from the ear, maybe even tilting the right ear toward the shoulder, just to get an extra little stretch into the neck and the upper back. Don't forget the breath. So every inhale lengthening, every exhale deepening. Last breath here. Lovely. Slowly inhaling back to center, bringing both hands over to the left. Take a small little micro bend to the left just to release that twist. And we drop back to center. So we're going to reverse the crisscross of the legs here, just for a wee bit of balance if they're crossed. And again, opening the palms to the ceiling. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. And as we exhale, right hand comes forward, left hand comes behind, right hand rests just above the left knee this time. Heel of the hand is close to the lower back, so it's really reminding us to sit tall into the spine as we inhale. And as we exhale, pressing that right hand into the leg, taking the gaze over that left shoulder as we work the left shoulder back. So we're trying to engage the left shoulder blade to get that rotation. And see where that twist is at. So we're starting our twist in the lower back, drawing it into the rib cage, and then drawing it up into the chest and neck. Nice big full belly breaths here, and you're really using that connection of the right hand on the leg as an extra little leverage to get us a little bit deeper into that twist. Last breath here. Excellent. Slowly inhaling back to center, both hands over to the right, small little micro bend just to release that twist, and then coming back to center. From here we're going to bring both legs out into a little gentle V, so it doesn't have to be too wide. Just checking in, do you have your block or pillow and a towel close at hand? And then we're going to draw that right foot in. We're going to bring the heel as close to the body as we can. And we're going to rest the outer blade of that left foot into the hand. And then we're going to give that right knee a little hug. And we're going to see if we can bring the foot up in line with the chest. Okay, so getting a little bit deep into the hips here. Again, try not to slouch into the lower back here, so keep pressing the chest forward. If you want to go into your full rock the baby, and if you have it this morning, again, don't force it in the morning. We can always put the foot into that left elbow crease and then catch hold with both hands. So only if it's accessible, don't force it. And then wherever we're at, we're just going to gently rock into that right hip. So you're going to feel that left hip sliding back, that left heel sliding back. But the focus here is in just creating a wee bit of mobility into that right hip joint, gently rocking it out. Seeing if you can get that movement a little bit bigger with each rock. So really drawing the leg across the body and then drawing that right knee back. So nice and gentle. And again, don't force the movement. If you need to drop the leg a little bit, that's fine. Once we're feeling it into that right hip joint. But it should be a nice feeling. Okay, so you're opening, you're creating space, you're not hurting yourself. And then gently release. We're going to place that sole of the right foot just into the inner thigh, bringing the heel as close to the body here as we can. Little bend to the left knee. Notice if you do already know you have issues with that left hamstring, you can always place the block under the hamstring or a little pillow, keeping a little bend into the knee at all times. And then we're going to reach for a towel, wrap it around the ball of that left foot. As we inhale, lengthening through the spine, and as we exhale, pressing that left heel away. This time as we inhale, we're pressing the chest forward, and as we exhale, we're going to hinge from that lower back, bringing the chest toward the knee, but keeping the heart open. So we're not rolling up. It's not about touching the toe here. If we can get a little bit closer to that foot, all the better. But again, listen to your own hamstrings here. So bring a little activity into the breath as we inhale, lengthening, as we exhale, folding. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. So continue with your own breath. Maybe just closing the eyes so you're becoming super conscious of where you're feeling that movement, that stretch within the hamstring. So it's into the belly of the hamstring as opposed to into the knee or the sit bone. And again, if you're feeling it anywhere other than the middle of the hamstring, just bring a little bend to the knee. So we don't want to be getting into our attachments here, just into the muscle. We can draw that left toe toward the face, see if we can get a little bit into the lower leg here as well. And all the time we're working those hands along the tail toward the foot, but we're still keeping that space in the spine. Last breath here. Excellent. We're going to slowly inhale back to center, release the towel. We're going to bring that right hand behind us. We're going to inhale the left arm up, and as we exhale, we're going to press the hips toward the ceiling, pressing the left foot, right knee, and right hand into the ground as we extend that left arm back overhead and really reach away through the fingertips. Gaze goes back toward the hand if it feels good, otherwise relax the gaze to the floor. Pressing those hips as much as we can for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release it back to center. We're going to extend that right foot out, nice and easy. And then we're going to hug that left knee in. Again, we're going to catch hold of the outer blade of that left foot, resting it into the hand. We're going to wrap that left arm around the leg. And again, see if we can bring the foot up in line with the chest, only if it's accessible. Again, don't force it. Again, bring the chest forward so we're not rolling into that lower back. So always thinking about that nice long spine. And again, if you do want to come into your full rock the baby, we can place the foot into that little crease in the elbow and then catch hold of opposite hands. Again, only if it's accessible. From here, again, rocking gently into that hip. And again, if that right hip, right heel moves forward and back, that's totally fine. So if that left hip is getting that full rotation, automatically that right hip is going to react. So we don't have to hold it in place. And again, we're trying to get that movement a little bit deeper if it's accessible. So really drawing that leg across the body, really drawing that left knee back. And just noticing how it feels from one side to the other. Is it a little bit restricted? Is it a lot easier? So again, taking the time to notice these little imbalances and niggles within the body. Nice little way of warming up into the hip. Getting a wee bit into the hamstring here as well, you'll notice. Excellent. And then slowly release. We're going to bring the sole of the foot into that inner right thigh, bringing the heel nice and close to the sacrum again, sitting nice and tall into the spine. A little bend to that right knee. And again, if you've issues with that right hamstring or if you're recovering from an injury, place some little support underneath that right knee. We're going to wrap the towel underneath the right foot, holding the towel at its long ends. As we inhale, opening the heart. As we exhale, pressing that heel up. Again, we're looking in the direction of the foot here. As we inhale, lengthening. And as we exhale, we're drawing the chest toward the knee. So we're keeping the spine nice and long. So even if it's just a micro movement, once we start to feel that stretch into the hamstring, maybe shifting the right hip back a little bit, seeing how that feels within the hamstring. So we're inhale, lengthening, and then exhale, folding. And again, every exhale, you might walk the hands along the towel, but again, we're not rolling into that upper back. So keep that nice space into the chest. So the shoulders are going to roll forward, but what we're trying to avoid is that upward rotation in the shoulders. So keeping our spines long, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. We can draw those right toes back toward the face. And again, listen to your hamstrings here. So no overstretching. You just want to feel a nice little release into the belly of that hamstring. Maybe a little bit into the lower leg, depending on how much that foot is flexed. And again, even just noticing how far you can go on one side compared to the other. So again, yoga is a lovely way of just finding that body awareness, noticing the imbalances, noticing the differences from one side to the other, and maybe not fixing them straight away, but at least being aware of them. Last breath here. Excellent, slowly release. We can rest the towel off. We're going to bring that left hand behind, so fingertips are faced back. We're going to inhale the right arm up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, pressing the hips skyward, pressing the right foot, left knee and left hand firmly into the ground as we extend that right arm back overhead, maybe taking the gaze up to the fingertips, really actively reaching back through the fingertips. Pressing those hips skyward for 3, for 2, nice big belly breaths, and 1. Slowly release it down. Well done. Crisscrossing up the ankles, we're going to lie back onto the mat. Again, just checking in that your towel is within reach in case we need it. Lying back onto the mat. Just getting that lower back nice and grounded. We're going to hug the right knee into the chest, extend fully out through that left foot, really pressing away through the left heel and drawing the back of that knee down toward the ground. From here, we're going to reach for a towel again, wrap it around the ball of that right foot. And then we're going to inhale, press the sole of the foot up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're drawing the toes toward the face. See if you can work those shoulder blades together. See if we can get a little bit more length into the hamstring by trying to engage with the quads. So engage with the thigh muscle here. Seeing if we can create a wee bit more space into the hamstring using that engagement of that pose muscle. We're going to bring the grip into the right hand. Extend left arm out in line with the shoulder and then slowly exhale that right foot out to the side. So again, getting into the second little grip of our hamstring. Again, we're pressing away through the heel, we're drawing the toes toward the face, maybe taking the gaze over to the left and really grounding that left shoulder into the mat. Again, if you find the left hip is coming off the mat, we can always place that left hand onto the hip bone so we can feel that lovely bit of space into the front of the pelvis. See if we can keep the foot up in line with the hip, so it's not about the foot touching the ground. Don't forget to breathe. Every exhale, getting just a little bit deeper into that right hip, into those little hip abductors, feeling that lovely stretch in the inner groin. And then slowly inhale back to center. We're going to bend the right knee into the chest and we're going to take that grip a little bit closer to the right foot. As we exhale, we're going to draw that right knee down beside us to the right on the mat. So we're bringing it out of line with the body, coming into a little half happy baby here. So again, nice deep bend to the knee, foot as parallel as we can get it to the ceiling. Again, if you feel quite uncomfortable on the left side, you can always bend the knee just to feel a little bit more supported. We're going to inhale, press the sole of the foot up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're drawing that right knee a little bit closer to the ground beside us. So getting into that right hip, a little bit into the hamstring. Inhale, pressing upwards. Exhale, drawing it down. A few more here to your own breath. So really focus on that exhale, getting a little bit deeper into that space. So again, we're creating that mobility into the hips so that we can access those leg muscles later on in the class. From here, we're going to bend the left knee, bringing the left foot flat onto the ground and working that heel toward the bum. And then we're going to rest that right ankle just below the left knee. If you feel you can get a little bit deeper into the hips, We can always rest the outer blade of that right foot onto the thigh instead of the ankle. It just allows us a wee bit more space here. So just see how that feels. We're working the right knee away and we're flexing that right toe toward the knee. We're going to inhale the left foot off the ground, interlocking hands or towel around the back of that left hamstring. So make sure that we can work our shoulder blades together here and access that lovely space into the chest as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're working that left knee a little bit closer toward the face. Again, keep that lower back grounded. We're feeling this into the right hip. As we inhale, we're going to point the left foot up toward the ceiling, really stretching into the front of the foot. And as we exhale, drawing those left toes toward the face. So just doing that, inhaling, pointing, exhaling, flexing. And just notice how that feels in the ankle. It might be easier in one direction more than the other. So try to create balance with the movement. And then we're going to take a few big circles to the right. And again, we're trying to make those circles as big and as smooth as we can. So if they start to become a triangle or a square, we're trying to ease out those corners with each rotation. So nice, big, smooth, circular movements. Notice the little clicks and pops. And then reverse it in the other direction. So again, those feet, we don't want to neglect them. We're carrying a lot of stuff. Excellent. We're going to slowly release that left foot down. Keeping our figure 4 here, working that left heel toward the bum. We're going to place the hands onto the mat. Fingers are pointed toward the front of the mat. And we're going to inhale gently, lift the hips toward the ceiling and walk those shoulder blades together, coming into a little half bridge here. Again, if that feels too much, feel free to come into just a regular bridge. We're just going to work it into a wee bit of hip openness here as we hold it. For 3, for 2, and 1. Release the right foot to meet the left, so coming into just a traditional bridge. And here, just making sure that those heels are underneath the knees. We're going to catch hold of the mat beside us. So take a nice grip to the mat here with the hands. And then we're going to keep the heels in the ground, but we're going to lift the toes off the ground. Now, there's no obvious movement here. You're not going to see the movement, but I want you to imagine that you're dragging the heels toward the body and you're going to feel those hamstrings activate. So this is a really good strengthener for the hamstrings. So you're not going to see the movement, you're going to feel it. So again, really grabbing onto that mat. So we're kind of pushing the mat away and we're dragging those heels toward the bum. So those heels shouldn't move unless your mat is particularly slippy. So the idea is that they're stuck, but it's that feeling of dragging them toward the bum. For 3, really feeling those hamstrings burn. For 2, and 1. Gently release. Slowly release those hips down. Hugging those knees into the chest, giving them a nice little squeeze. And then we're going to keep the left knee hugged in, but we're going to extend that right foot out fully. Pressing away through the heel, allowing the back of that knee melt toward the ground. We're really hugging that left knee in. Nice little squeeze, releasing into the hip. From here, reaching for our towel again, wrapping it around the ball of that left foot. And then inhale, pressing the sole of the foot up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, drawing those left toes toward the face. Again, we're hooking the elbows in toward the body. See if we can activate the front of the leg, so into the quad to get an extra little stretch into the hammy. So ideally, if our hamstrings are healthy, our natural range, we should be getting at least an 80-degree angle here. Okay, so some people might get a little bit more, some people might get a little bit less, but you're going to aim for 80 degrees. Okay, so if you're kind of doing yoga continually and you're getting a little bit of hypermobility in the joints, that leg might go right over your head. I know I'll probably never get there and I don't really intend to, but again, if it's in your practice and you want to bring it a little bit more into the hamstring, you feel comfortable and protected there, by all means, you can lift that leg back a little bit more. We're going to bring the grip into the left hand, extend right arm out in line with the shoulder, and then slowly exhale that left foot out to the side, taking the gaze over the right fingertips. We're pressing away through the left heel and we're drawing the left toes toward the face. Again, notice if that right hip is coming off the ground, we can always place the right hand onto the hip bone to coax it right back down again. And we're keeping that foot up in line with the hip. Feeling that in the inner thigh, into the hamstring, maybe into the lower leg, depending on how much we're flexing that foot. Nice deep breaths here, releasing on every exhale a little bit deeper. Slowly inhaling back to center. We're going to bend the left knee in toward the chest, and we're going to take that grip with the left hand a little bit closer to the foot. And as we exhale, we're going to draw that left knee down beside us, just outside the line of the body. So again, getting that bend into the knee as deep as we can. We shouldn't feel it in the knee joint. If we do, just back off the bend. Okay, so here we want to feel it in the hip, a little bit into the hamstring. As we inhale, pressing the sole of the foot up toward the ceiling, and as we exhale, we're drawing that left knee down toward the ground. Maybe resting the right hand onto the right hip bone here, just to keep that side grounded. Every inhale, press it up. Every exhale, getting a little bit deeper into that left hip. So don't forget that breath. That exhale allows us to access all of that lovely space into the hip. Last breath here. Again, we're going to bend that right knee, bringing the foot flat onto the ground, and then we're going to rest the left ankle or the outer blade of that left foot onto that right quad, that right thigh. And then we're working that left knee away from the body, working the left toe toward the knee, and then we can work that right heel toward the bum. So again, just feeling that space in the hips. You can always stay here if that feels good for you this morning, or else we can lift that right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, nice relaxed right foot, and then interlocking the hands or towel around the back of that right hamstring, walking the shoulder blades together. So feel the connection of the full length of the spine onto the mat. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit to release the neck here. Every exhale, we're drawing that right knee a little bit closer toward the face, and we're working that left knee away from the body. And again, we shouldn't feel this in the left knee joint. So bringing that nice strong flex into the left foot should help eliminate that. As we inhale, we're going to point the right foot up toward the ceiling, really stretching into the front of the foot. And as we exhale, we're drawing the right toes toward the face, pressing away through that heel. So again, to your own breath. Just getting that movement from front to back, creating a little bit of space into the ankles and into the foot. And then we're going to make those nice big circles to the right. And even when you're just sitting around in the house, it's actually lovely if you've got the legs crossed or whatever, just do these little circles into the ankles any chance that you get. Because we do spend so much time on our feet, and I know if you're anything like me, I tend to neglect all that work that our feet do. So again, pay attention to our ankles and our feet. We're going to reverse that rotation. And again, just notice how that feels from one side to the other. Notice what that shape is. Is it a circle? Is it a triangle? Is it just some weird morphing shape? So we're trying to go for those lovely big circular movements here. You're going to feel this into the lower leg too. Really nice thing to do if you are recovering from an ankle or a lower leg injury, because there's no actual load on the muscle or on the joint, but you're getting that strength back into the ankle. Lovely. We're going to slowly release that right foot down, bringing the heel a little bit closer to the bum. Staying in our figure four, hands pressed into the ground, fingertips point toward the front of the mat. As we inhale, lifting the hips toward the ceiling, walking those shoulder blades together underneath the back. And we're going to press those hips toward the ceiling. Allow the left knee drop down. We're going to press the right foot into the ground to get a little bit more hike in those hips for 3, for 2, and don't forget to breathe, and 1. Again, bringing that left foot down to meet right, checking in those heels or underneath the knees here. We're going to catch hold of the mat again, working into those hamstrings. Staying on the heels, we can lift the toes, and then we're going to drag those heels toward the bum without actually moving the heels, okay? So it's almost imagining that you're trying to get the heels toward the bum. Keep the hips lifted. And again, feel that into the hamstrings. Really good straightener into the hammies. So often we think that we're tight into the hamstrings, and we end up overstretching, and often we're actually not strong enough. The hamstrings have become so over lengthened that they feel stretched. They feel tight. So just doing these little activators into the hamstring to remind those muscles to switch on. And particularly if the glutes are quite tight, they're going to be pulling on our hamstrings. And when you think of an elastic band, if you stretch it too many times, even though it's elastic, eventually it is going to break. So we need to make that elastic band nice and strong. Ooh, slowly release. And then hug those knees in, give them a nice little squeeze. We're going to crisscross at the ankles, take 3 or 4 rolls forward and back along the mat. Again, using that motion to really massage the full length of the spine into the ground. And when you've taken your 3 or 4 rolls, engage with the core to gently bring ourselves up to seat. We're going to come straight into our tabletop from here. So again, nice spread through the fingers. We're going to bring the hands to the front of the mat. Coming onto all fours here. So fingers widely spread. Any of the pressure is into the fingers and knuckles. So we shouldn't be able to actually lift the fingertips off the ground. If we are, bring the chest forward. Take the pressure off those wrists. Elbow creases slightly forward, and we're pressing the ground away, feeling that space into the shoulders. Knees hip-width distance apart. Tuck the toes if it feels a bit funky, otherwise just flatten out through the feet. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward, gaze up toward the ceiling, arching through the spine. Exhale, pressing into the ground, looking back toward the belly and stretching between the shoulder blades. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching. Exhale, pressing into the mat, curling through the spine, maybe tucking the chin a little. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, releasing the back. Closing down the eyes, working with your own breath as you move forward and back through that movement, trying to create as much space within the vertebrae as you can. So feeling each and every single little joint along the spine open up with that movement. So again, we're trying to keep that mobility and that space. So what happens when we don't do these movements, and when we're sitting all day, when we're doing those movements where we're crunching into the lower back, eventually those back bones are going to start to fuse together, and that's when we start getting those issues. So if we can keep the joints nice and lubricated through the movement, we're going to hopefully eliminate a load of those issues and just feel a lot better in ourselves. Excellent. We're going to slowly come back to center here. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under and we're just going to sit back onto the heels. We're going to tuck the chin into the chest and press the ground away. So we're getting a little bit of space into the soles of the feet. So really pressing back into the balls of the feet. And we're getting a little bit of opening into the neck and in between the shoulder blades. Just holding it here for a few breaths. Maybe shifting around on those toes until we feel that lovely stretch through the arches and then right up to into the toes. From here, we're going to press the balls of the feet into the ground as we lift the knees and then lift the hips up toward the ceiling, coming into our downward dog. So really actively pressing the ground away, again staying nice and light into the wrists. We're pressing the chest toward the ground and we're drawing the shoulder blades strongly together. We're going to lift through the hips, creating that space in the lower back, and then draw those heels down toward the ground. When you're ready, we're going to inhale high up onto the tippy toes, and as we exhale, drawing the heels toward the ground. So just doing a few of those with your own breath. As we exhale down, see if we can activate the quads again to get a little bit of extra space into the hamstrings. So we're engaging with those front leg muscles to see if we can get an extra little bit of space into the back leg muscles. Again, really high in the tippy toes, and then draw those heels down. And then just gently walk it out in our downward dog. Maybe rocking the hips a little bit side to side. Maybe looking out underneath opposite armpits, getting a nice little stretch into the side waist. So just using our downward dog to get a little bit of movement into the body here. Looking forward between the hands, we're going to gently walk those feet right up to the front of the mat, bringing the feet about hip-width distance apart. Nice deep bend to the knees, resting the belly onto the legs, We're going to catch hold of opposite elbows and just allow the head and neck relax here fully. Maybe give the head a little shake to remind it to relax. And again, we're just focusing on releasing the spine here, particularly that lower back. Every inhale, think about pressing the hips up toward the ceiling. So they might move too much because we're keeping that belly engaged on the legs. And every exhale, see if we can fold a little bit more. So not getting caught up with that leg extension, more that lower back release. Relax the head, so the gaze is back in between the knees, in between the legs. A little bit more length on the inhale, a little bit more fold on the exhale. Not the most comfortable of poses. But again, just bear with it for another couple of breaths, just releasing that lower back, getting a little bit into the legs. And slowly release fingertips to the ground, tucking the chin in, and then gently rising up to stand. Excellent. So we're going to take a little drink here if you need it, and we're going to work into our sun salutations. So again, we've worked quite a little bit into opening up into the hips. Our sun salutations are just going to allow us to ground our minds a little bit and get into every single last other joint in the body. So we're going to be quite flowy this morning with our sun salutation. So bringing ourselves to the front of the mat, feet are nicely grounded. So I want you to lift the big toe, actually lift all the toes off the mat, and then we're going to press the little toe and the big toe into the mat and really feel that spread between the toes, so really rooting the feet into the mat. Then we're going to throw our balance forward a little bit, so we're lifting off the heels. And then gently releasing the heels back down. So just feeling that full connection of the feet on the ground. We're going to bring the hands to heart, pressing the palms together, drawing the shoulders back. Slight engagement of the abdominals, slight engagement of the leg muscles, but keeping a nice springiness into the knees. Relax the shoulders. When you're ready, we're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, forward folds. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, left foot to meet it. Inhale here and plank, nice strong plank. Just check in those alignments for this first round. Shoulders over, elbows over wrists, elbow creases slightly forward. Again, we shouldn't be able to lift those fingertips. If we can, just bring the chest forward a little bit more. Pressing back into the heels. And then exhale, knees, chest and chin to the mat, elbows tucked in, rolling the heart forward, untucking the toes, pressing the feet into the ground as we lift the chest forward. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. Walking it out this morning if it feels good. Or bringing stillness to our downward dog. So your choice completely. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge with control. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge. Right foot to meet it. Inhale here in plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Rolling the heart forward, untucking the toes. Pressing those feet into the ground as we lift the chest. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. Again, check in with that breath. So really feeling that heat generated within the body. Keep touching back into that breath. We're going to inhale the left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Second round when you're ready. Same starting pose, check in with that breath. Relax the shoulders, relax the breath, relax the mind. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. Left foot to meet it. Inhale in plank. Check in those bums aren't into the air. Check in those hips aren't drawn down toward the ground. So just that nice neutral space in between. We can either exhale, knees, chest, chin, or if we're working on chaturanga, keep those elbows tucked in, keep those elbow creases forward, draw the chest forward a little bit and slowly lower ourselves toward the ground, hovering about an inch off the mat, on top the toes, press the chest forward, press the feet into the ground, engage those tummy muscles to release that lower back. Exhale, downward dog. We're going to inhale, right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge, left foot to meet it, exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, right foot to meet it, inhale and plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. Baby cobra or upward dog. Either way, we're pressing the feet into the ground, we're lifting the chest forward, release that lower back. Exhale, downward dog. So in our baby cobra and upward dog, sometimes we have a tendency to dump into that lower back. So we want to keep those abdominals engaged as much as we can, so that they're taking that pressure off that lower back. We're going to inhale the left foot up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Lovely. So we're going to leave it at 2 rounds of sun salutes this morning so we can get into those lovely legs. Again, if you need to take a drink at any stage, please do. There's going to be a little bit of balance involved in our leg sequence this morning. So if you already know that, say you have low blood pressure, or you find yourself off balance quite a lot, a little bit of dizziness, anything like that, just have a chair or a wall within reach. So even if you want to place your mat a little bit closer to the wall, you might be totally fine, but just in case, it's always nice to have. So we're going to start at the front of the mat. Again, grounding those feet into the mat. Just relax the chest, relax the shoulders, relax the body. Little balance sequence here. So we've done this before. We're going to bring the palms forward. And we're going to inhale, lift that right leg off the ground, bringing the knee out in front, and just check in that we're not dumping into that left hip. So both hips are nice and level, really spreading through that left foot. Nice 90-degree angles from hip to knee, knee to heel, heel to toe. As we inhale, we're going to lift that right knee up. And as we exhale, we're going to flip the palms. We're going to press that right foot back. Pressing back through the heel and then gently hinging forward. Seeing if we can bring the chest toward the ground as we lift that leg back. Inhale, palms flip forward. We're going to bring that right knee out in front. Exhale, palms flip back. We're pressing that right leg back and then gently hinging from the middle of the body. Inhale, bringing it forward. This time as we exhale, we're going to gently land onto the ball of that right foot, coming into a nice high lunge here. So with control, nice high lunge. Hands to heart center to start with. Now, if you know that the knees just aren't feeling it this morning, or if you're recovering from an injury, I want you to be particularly kind to the knees, okay? So if you feel it at any stage is too deep, just back off the bend in both knees, okay? So it's coming in to a nice deep bend to start with, into that front leg, pressing back through the right heel. And just holding it here. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms together overhead, extending through both legs and pressing back through that right heel. As we exhale, hands to heart, we're going to bend both knees and we're going to allow that right knee come toward the ground, gently hovering off the mat. Inhale, lengthen, extend the arms up overhead, pressing back into the right heel. Exhale, bending deeply into both knees as we bring the hands to heart. Inhale, lengthen up, pressing into the heel. Exhale, hands to heart as we bend both knees and hover. Continuing with your own breath. This is a controlled movement. So if we're shaking, slow it down. Find that balance. Again, try not to touch down with the knee if we can. Last two. Last one, really pressing back into that right heel. And then releasing back into our high lunge. From here, we're going to allow the outer blade of that right foot become parallel to the back of the mat, setting up for a warrior two legs. Again, we can get a little bit deeper if it feels good in the hips, if it feels good in that left knee. The left knee is tracked directly over that left foot, so it's not falling in here to the right. Nice bit of space into the hips. We're going to extend both arms out in line with the shoulders, pressing the chest open, pressing the hips open, and keeping that core engaged, nice and strong. As we inhale, bringing the hands together overhead, gaze goes up. Exhale, warrior two lunge, getting a little bit deeper here. Inhale, gaze follows that left hand. Exhale, warrior lunge. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, bending into that front knee and lunge. 3 more. Last 2. A little bit deeper. Last 1. Back into our warrior 2. From here, bringing our hands to the hips. We're going to gently scoot that right foot so it's about 2 foot behind the front heel. Then we're going to bring both feet that are facing forward, so we might need to move that left foot to the left side of the mat. So hips are forward, heart is forward. We're going to extend both arms out in front, and as we exhale, we can either hold on to the opposite elbows, we can come into reverse prayer, we can interlock the hands into a fist and draw the shoulders away. So whatever feels good to you. Just a little bit of chest opening here. As we inhale, press the chest toward the ceiling, engage the core. And as we exhale, press the hips back. As we draw the chest forward, keeping that nice length into the spine for as long as we can. Again, notice both hips are faced forward. And then slowly release. Release the neck, release the head, a little bit of a fold. Think about lengthening on the inhale, pressing the chest forward, and then hinging from the hips as we exhale. Taking a few breaths here. Again, still working those shoulder blades back into a little chest opener. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly release it back to center. From here, we're going to reach for our block or our book. We're going to place it to the front of the mat. Same little pose, but we're going to keep the front of the foot elevated. So we're going to bring the ball of the foot to rest onto that block. Heel rests onto the ground. Same pose again. Inhale, arms out. As we exhale, whatever pose we want. Holding on to opposite elbows, reverse prayer. Little fist with the hands, whatever feels good. We're inhaling, lifting the chest. And as we exhale, press the hips back, we're drawing the chest forward and just feeling that a little bit deeper into that left leg. We can draw the left toes toward the face if it feels a little bit better in the lower leg. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly inhale, back to center. We can remove that block out of the way. From here, we're going to step that right foot up to meet left. We're going to bend the right knee. We're going to catch hold of the inner arch of the foot. Okay, so we're not holding the outer blade, inner arch. So we're flipping the palm out to the right here. So just coming into a little quad stretch here. And again, if that feels good, we can extend the left arm out in front. Maybe pressing the index finger and thumb together, creating a little drishti point, a little power line within the body, a little focus point out in front. Again, if that feels good and we're already getting a nice stretch, we can stay here. Or if you want to join me in dancer pose, we're going to press the foot back into the hand as we gently lift that back leg as high as we can go. So we're not hinging forward yet. And then when we can't lift that foot any further, then we're going to gently hinge from the hips bringing the chest forward. And we're going to hold it here. Getting a little stretch into that right leg, really challenging that left standing leg. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release and slowly let it go. Shaking that left foot out. So again, with our dancer pose, to start with, you can always bring it to the wall, bring it to the chair, so that left hand out in front, giving it a little help for that balance, and then eventually taking the hand off that prop little bit by little bit. So we're going to move over to the other side. When you're ready, coming to the front. Same starting pose. So again, really grounding the feet into the mat. Palms are flipped forward. We're going to inhale, lift that left foot off the ground, bringing the knee out in front. So again, nice 90-degree angles. Notice if we're dropping into that right hip. So again, tucking it in, both hips nice and strong and in line. Nice active foot, nice active knee. We're going to inhale, lift the left knee up. As we exhale, pressing the palms back, pressing back through that left foot, extending back through the heel, and then hinging forward through the chest. Getting as low with the chest to the ground as we can. Inhale, flipping the palms forward, lifting that left knee forward and up. Exhale, flipping the palms back, pressing back through that left heel. And again, this does get easier with practice. All these balance poses do. Inhale, lifting forward. This time as we exhale, pressing the foot back, and we're going to land firmly and with control onto the ball of that left foot. So coming into a nice high lunge here. Hands to heart to start with. Just notice if you're jumping into that lower back. So again, we might need to rotate those hips forward so we can release that lower back and engage with that tummy. Again, check in with your own knees here, what feels good. Get nice and balanced here before we bring any movement. And again, you can just stay here. This is a lovely, powerful pose for the legs. Get a little bit deeper into that front knee if it feels good. Press back into that left heel if it feels good. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up, extending through both legs and pressing back into that left heel. Exhale, hands to heart as we bend deeply into both knees, drawing that left knee so it's hovering just about an inch off the ground. Inhale, lengthen up, pressing back through that left heel. Exhale, hands to heart as we slowly lower, bending both knees deeply. Inhale, lengthen, both legs. Exhale, lower, with control. Continuing with your own breath. Again, really extending into that back leg if we can. So feeling all the muscles in the legs engage as we move through the pose. Last 2. Last 1. Excellent. Coming back into our high lunge. And then we're going to gently allow that left foot to become parallel to the back of the mat. Setting up for our warrior 2 legs. So again, nice deep bend into the front leg if it feels good. That knee is tracked in line with that middle toe. So we should be able to look out over the knee and see the foot and not the ground. Okay? Again, really magnetizing those inner thighs together. Get a little bit deeper into that front leg if it feels good. Extending both arms out in line with the shoulders. Drawing the shoulders back. Engage the core. Press the hips forward. Press the chest forward. As we inhale, lengthening through the front leg, bringing the hands together overhead, gaze goes up. Exhale, warrior 2 lunge. Gaze follows the right hand this time. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, bending into that right knee and lunge. Inhale, lengthen, all the time pressing into the outer blade of that left foot. Exhale, a little bit deeper. 3 more. 2 more, with control. Last 1. Excellent. We're going to take the hands to the hips. Gently scoot that left foot in till it's about 2 foot behind the front foot. And then we're going to bring both feet that they're face forward. So you might need to move that right foot out to the side so we can get those hips face forward, chest open to the front of the room. We're going to inhale, arms out in front. And as we exhale, again, holding on to opposite elbows, maybe interlocking hands into a little fist, draw the chest forward. Or if you have reverse prayer in your practice, you can bring that, really pressing the outer blades of the hands into the back so we can draw those shoulders back. Inhale, lift the chest toward the ceiling, and as we exhale, press it back into the hips as we draw the chest forward. Keep the spine as long as we can, for as long as we can, and then slowly release, folding forward. Release the head, release the neck. Feel that stretch into the right leg. And again, listen to your own body, so do not overstretch. If it starts to feel, ooh, that's a little bit too deep, just back off, bring a little bend to that right knee, so whatever feels good for you. So you are, or your body's the best teacher in this case. I don't know what you're feeling. So listen to the body. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release it back to center. Again, we're going to reach for our block or our book. Place it to the front of the mat. Allowing the ball of the feet come onto that block and the heel touches the ground. So same again, we're just going to get a little bit deeper into that leg. Inhale, arms forward, exhale. Again, bringing the hands in whatever way feels best for us this morning. Inhale, pressing the chest toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, pressing back into the hips, pressing the chest forward. That left leg is also extended here, so no deep bend into either knee. You can keep a little bend into it, so we don't have to lock out into the knees. Again, we can draw those right toes toward the face, relax the head, relax the neck. Notice if your right shoulders drop down, so try to get the shoulders, hips in line here. Hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly tuck the chin in, release it back to center, and then we can gently remove that block out to the side, and we'll meet both feet at the front of the mat. So same pose as we did on the other side, so starting with the feet and knees together. We're going to bend the left knee. We're going to catch hold of the inner arch, so the palm, that left palm is flipped out to the left side of the room, so we're catching hold of the inner arch here, resting the foot into the hand. And again, this in itself, just pressing the foot into the hand, we're going to feel that lovely stretch into the quad. Really press the hips forward and engage the abdominals, and we feel that stretch even a little bit more. We can bring the hand out in front, pressing the index finger and thumb together, so creating a little energy line here. And again, if that feels good, by all means stay here. If you want to join me in dancer pose, we're going to press that foot a little bit more into the hand as we lift the knee back, but we're keeping the knee close to the other knee, so still in the same line. We're not splaying that left knee out to the side. Pressing that foot back as much as we can. When we can't get any higher, then gently hinging through the middle of the body, bringing the chest forward. And just noticing, I know myself, I can't get as much lift into this leg. Slight little meniscus tear in that knee. So listen to your body, don't force it. We're going to hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly with control, release it back to center and to heart, and then release that left foot, and then gently just shake it all out. We've got one little balance sequence left. I'm going to come off the mat to show you this one. So this one is, I like to call it clock pose. So we're going to be focusing its balance. So again, if you need something close by in case you start to fall out, quite strong on the legs and hips. So we're going to start, again, just grounding both feet into the ground, hands to heart. We're going to inhale the right foot forward, and as we exhale, we're going to press away through that right heel, extending the leg and bending into that left knee, keeping the spine long. Inhale it up. Exhale, we're going to press the right foot out to the side, bending through that left knee as we exhale. See if we can not touch down with that heel. Inhale it up. Exhale, we're going to press back with that right foot, Bending into that left knee and try not to touch the toe down. Woo. Inhale it up. This time as we exhale, we're going to draw that right foot behind the body to the left, bending through that left knee, and again, try not to touch the toe down. We're going to do that once more. Inhale, right foot out. Exhale, sitting back, pressing away through the right heel. Inhale it up. Exhale, right foot out as we slowly bend into that knee. Inhale up. Exhale, pressing back with that right foot, bending into that left knee. Woo. Inhale it up. Exhale, right foot to the left side as we draw it behind the body. And slowly back up. Excellent. Shake that left foot out. Really lovely one for strengthening into the ankles, into the hips, and working all those stabilizer muscles within the body. So an excellent little one. You can do that a lot more rotations than what I just did with you, but it's a really good one just to bring into your own practice. So again, we're going to come to the other side, grinding that right foot in, hands to heart. Inhale, we're going to bring that left foot out, and as we exhale, bending into that right knee. Keeping the spine long if we can. Inhale it up. Exhale, right foot out, bending into that right knee. Inhale it up. Exhale, pressing that left foot behind us, bending into that right knee with control. Inhale it up. Exhale, left foot comes to the right behind us, pointing through that toe as we bend. Inhale it up. And again, exhale, pressing the left foot out, bending, sitting back into our chair. Inhale it up. Exhale, that left foot out, sitting into our chair. Try to keep the knee over the ankle here. Exhale, left foot back, bending into the knee. Last one. As we exhale, pressing that left foot back, really trying to extend that leg as far out to the right as we can. And slowly release, slowly shake it out, let it go. Well done. Nice little one. You can really feel that into the glutes here as well. We're going to lie back onto the mat. Nice work there this morning. Just extended the legs out fully. Allow the feet drop out to the sides. Bring the arms down by the sides, palms open to the ceiling. And just fully relax into the body here. Maybe tucking the chin a little bit to release the back of the neck. Lifting the chest toward the ceiling, and then gently relaxing the upper body onto the ground. Nice and easy wherever it lands. And then bringing the hips up toward the ceiling, and then just allowing the bum melt down wherever it finds that nice little comfort spot. And gently closing down the eyes, and just noticing how the body feels here, noticing where the mind is at. Noticing where the breath is at. Have you been holding it in your chest? Has it been getting down to your belly? So just taking a little check, a little body check here. Notice if you're holding any tension within the body. Are you clenching your jaw? Are you frowning into your brow? And we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths together. So as we inhale, we're going to tense up into every single last part of our body. And as we exhale, we're just going to sigh it out, release it, and let it go. So when you're ready, just taking any breath out of the body. And then inhale, tense it up into every little muscle, every little joint, maybe clenching the fists. And then exhale, just let it go, let it all release. Do that again on an inhale. The last one. And again, taking that breath to anywhere you're still feeling that tension, that niggle. Maybe it's a thought that keeps popping into your mind. So again, not ignoring it, actually embracing it, really tense it up into it. And then just releasing it and letting it go. And just gently wakening up the body. Taking a few little movements into the hands, the wrists, the ankles. Bringing the feet together and extending fully out through the toes. Bringing the arms back overhead, extending back through the fingertips. So taking a lovely full body stretch here, just opening up into every single last joint. And then gently hugging the knees in toward the chest. And maybe making a few little circles on the lower back here, just gentle little massage. And then releasing the grip, releasing the feet to the ground, and then slowly we're going to roll over onto our right hand side. Take a couple of breaths here, just nice grounding breaths. Before finally pressing that hand into the ground to slowly bring ourselves up to seat. Head comes up last, nice and easy. And then just bringing ourselves to any comfortable seat. So it could be sitting back in the heels, it could be easy cross-legged, legs extended. And then we're just going to open the palms to the ceiling. And what way the sun's shining, but I look very fluorescent here. So just gently closing down the eyes here, drawing those shoulders away from the ears, sitting nice and tall in the spine. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up, and as we exhale, pressing the palms forward and just sign it out through the lips, letting it all go. We'll do 2 more like that. Last one. And then gently bringing the hands together at heart center, pressing the palms together. And just thanking ourselves for creating a little bit of space in our Friday morning to come to the mat, to look after ourselves, to create some really good energy, some lovely strength and balance within the body this morning too, and hopefully take that energy, strength and balance with you into the rest of the day and into the weekend ahead. And thank you as always for sharing your energy with me. Namaste.